All right, today we're going to jump into something pretty incredible, the Buddhist map of existence. And look, this isn't just about what happens when you die. It's way bigger than that. It's like a psychological blueprint, a cosmic ladder that charts every single possible state of consciousness you can imagine. So yeah, let's dive right in.
So, when someone brings up the afterlife, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's pretty simple, right? Heaven or hell. But what did the Buddha have to say about it? Well, as you're about to find out, his answer was, let's just say, a whole lot more interesting, weaving together the cosmos, our own psychology, and a totally new way of thinking about what it means to be free.
Okay, so the stage for this whole cosmic drama is what's known as the three realms, or samgye in Korean. You can think of it as the entire universe of every possible experience, physical and mental. This is the playground where that endless cycle of death and rebirth, samsara, happens over and over. And here's the kicker. Your actions, your karma, in this life, they're literally writing the script for where you end up in the next.
In this universe, it's structured just like a ladder. It's got three main rungs. Down at the bottom, you've got the desire realm. Then, in the middle, the form realm. And way up at the top, the formless realm. And how do you climb this thing? Well, it's all about virtuous actions, sure, but what's really crucial is deep meditative practice.
So that first rung, the desire realm, guess what? That's our world. That's where we are right now. It's got the whole shebang. Hells, the animal kingdom, us humans, and even 6 different levels of heavens. And what defines this place? It's all about our senses and our desires, wanting food, pleasure, security, you know the drill. If you live a good, decent life, you can totally punch your ticket to one of those heavens, and they're nice. But, and this is a big but, they're still temporary.
All right, let's climb up to the next level, the form realm. And I've got to tell you, this is a huge leap. To get born here, just being a good person isn't going to cut it. Nope. You have to have completely wiped out all sensual desire through some seriously profound states of meditation. We're talking about a world of pure, shimmering light and really subtle form. And the way you move up through the heavens in this form realm is, well, it's basically a process of deconstruction. It's like you're taking reality apart piece by piece. So in the first heaven, you've still got the 4 basic elements we know and love: earth, water, fire, and wind. But as you climb higher in your meditation, they just start disappearing one by one, and reality gets more and more subtle. So just think about that for a second. What happens when the element of fire, which is basically the very principle of heat and energy, just vanishes in that second heaven? Well, the temperature theoretically drops to absolute zero. We're talking about a world with literally no heat, no light. It's a concept that's almost impossible for our minds to even grasp, but there it is, a precise point on this cosmic map. And this is such a brilliant example of how Buddhism took the existing spiritual ideas of its time and just reframed them. See, in the Hindu traditions, the great god Brahma is the creator of the entire universe. But the Buddha comes along and explains, well, actually, Brahma is just a really powerful being living in the first heaven of the form realm. The story goes that he was the very first one to be reborn there, after a universe ended and began again. So when other beings started popping up after him, he looked around and mistakenly thought, hey, I must have created all of them. Okay, so if you thought the form realm was subtle, the formless realm is something else entirely. I mean, it's right there in the name. There's no matter, no form. You can't even point to it in space. It's not a place in any way we understand. It is a realm of pure mind, inhabited by beings who are just absorbed in these unbelievably deep states of meditation. The first stop here is called the sphere of infinite space. What happens is, through meditation, your mind just goes beyond all physical objects. It lets go of everything until the only thing left in its awareness is space itself, just stretching out forever, totally boundless, in every direction. But the journey inward goes even deeper. At the next stage, the sphere of infinite consciousness, the meditator has this massive aha moment. They realize that even that infinite space they were just perceiving is just another concept, another object inside of consciousness. So they turn their attention away from the thing being seen to the thing that is seeing, and realize that consciousness itself is the infinite container for everything.
And that realization, wow, it leads to this incredibly powerful, mystical experience, summed up perfectly by this phrase, Negagot Ujuguna. It means, I am the universe. This is that moment where the line between you and the cosmos just completely dissolves. In that state, your own consciousness is reality itself.
and it just keeps getting more refined from there. In the next state, the sphere of nothingness, even that sense of an infinite I, the observer, disappears. And then, finally, you hit the absolute peak of existence within the cycle, the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception. It's a state so unbelievably subtle that consciousness is barely even there. It's like a flickering candle flame, just about to go out, but not quite.
So, this has got to be it, right? I mean, this seems like the ultimate goal, to reach this blissful state of consciousness and just hang out there for literally billions of years. That's the grand prize, isn't it?
Well, no. And this is where the Buddha made his most radical, game-changing move. You see, for all the other spiritual paths at the time, the whole point was to climb this cosmic ladder as high as you possibly could. But the Buddha's goal? It wasn't about winning the game of rebirth. It was to stop playing the game altogether.
And this is the absolute crucial point. The Buddha taught that every single one of these realms, no matter how amazing, no matter how blissful they are, is temporary. I mean, a lifespan of 20,000 cosmic ages, or kalpas, sounds like forever to us. But eventually, your good karma runs out, and you'll be reborn somewhere else, maybe even in a much, much lower realm. It's still just a part of the endless cycle of suffering.
The real goal, he said, is Nirvana. And Nirvana isn't just another super fancy heaven at the top of the ladder. No, Nirvana is getting off the ladder for good. It's the final, total, irreversible extinguishing of the greed, hatred, and ignorance that keep the whole cycle of rebirth spinning. It's a kind of peace that doesn't depend on anything, and because of that, it's the only thing that's truly permanent.
But let's be honest, that idea can be pretty scary, right? We have this deep, primal desire to just exist, to keep going. There's an old Korean saying that goes something like, it's better to roll around in dog poop in this life than to not exist at all. And that deep-seated fear of just not being makes the whole idea of nirvana a really tough pill for most of us to swallow. And the thing is, the Buddha totally got this. And this is where you can really see his genius and compassion as a teacher. He didn't just shove this ultimate, difficult truth down everyone's throats. For regular folks who just weren't ready to let go of existence yet, he taught what's called the gradual sermon. He gave them a much more practical, accessible path. He'd say, hey, just be a good person, be generous, and you'll get a great rebirth in a nice, pleasant heaven. It was the perfect first step on what he knew was a much longer journey.
And that really leaves us with this huge, profound question to chew on. We've just looked at this incredibly detailed map with all these different destinations, from the absolute worst hells to the most sublime states of pure consciousness. But if every single place on that map, even the best ones, is ultimately just a temporary layover, then what is true, unshakable liberation really?